everyone, welcome back to the Mama Elephant October release. This is Rena. I love this release. This release goes so well with the anniversary release, and I'm so happy we can still make some holiday cards and winter cards for this release. Remember to leave a comment on these release videos for a chance to enter a drawing to win a prize from Mama Elephant. This release will be available on October 15th, and we are kicking off this release with Stay Warm and Arch Snow Globe. First up, we have Stay Warm, and this set was illustrated by Ada Zamora, and we all love her really fuzzy, adorable critters, and I love these, how they have a little baby with them. I love that so much. There's also a tree that you can use for your background, and also to perch some of your little critters on top of on that branch. My favorite image is the owl image, the first one. Oh my goodness, so adorable, so cute. I love it. And the second favorite is the little two birdies as well. I think they're so cute with their little hats. Here is a look at the coordinating dies for Stay Warm. It cuts out the 5 sets of critters. Next up, we have Arch Snow Globe. It's a new creative cut set that makes a really nice snow globe, and it has different landscape elements that I really love, and we'll take a closer look at that in a bit. I'm going to be using Copic Markers to first color in the images, and these are the colors that I'm using, and I'm noticing it's not too many colors. I also wanted to use some dark brown ink for the images, just to mix it up instead of using black. So I am using the Finesse by Spectrum Noir alcohol proof dye ink in Rustic Brown. I will list the Copic marker colors that I used down below in the description box, and these were so fun to color. I hadn't colored since the anniversary release, so it was a little rusty. So I had originally chose some darker colors, and it was not working out because I was a little bit out of practice. So my go-to when I'm having a hard time coloring is to always go to lighter colors, and they are more forgiving, and if you make a mistake you can totally blend it out. So I changed the colors that I was originally going to use and just picked some really lighter colors. I really love using E quadruple zero and E triple zero and E double zero for the skin and bellies and areas that I would normally color white. I like that flesh tone color a lot. Here is the adorable koala, and you can see he's ready to be perching on that branch. And so I use the W colors, the warm grays, to color him in. I'm coloring all of the scarves and hats in the R80s, R83, R85. The darkest one is R89 and also R81. I kind of like the rose tone of it, and I really liked how it looked because it brightened up all of the neutral colors that the animals are. I tried to keep the Copic marker colors to a minimum, and I kind of, as you all know, I like just having like a limited color palette so it's easier. So I decided to color the little Tweety birds in the E000 colors, just because it matched. But I also like coloring these guys in like YR20 and YR21. And then also for this squirrel, I was determined to find a marker that blended with E04. I have never used this marker, I don't think, and nothing around it matches. So I was just experimenting to see if I could find a color that matches with E04. And so far, I've determined that E25 blends with the E04. It's called Lipstick Natural, and I think you're supposed to use it like for lips and stuff, because I googled it and I'm like, what matches with E04? And that's what it said. I was trying different things with the eyes, so I went light and then I changed my mind and I went a little bit darker on it. and again using the R80s for the scarves and clothes. I also like to do cleanup with the 0 marker, just in case I went outside of the lines. So here is the tree branch. It also comes with little hearts and these little leaves that you can stamp to make the branches have leaves. I decided not to because I'm going to use this with the arch snow globe, and the opening only fits a certain just a little bit of this tree, so I didn't have to stamp out the little leaves and things. So I believe I'm using the E30 colors for this tree. I cut out the images and I wanted to see what they look like on the tree, and it's so cute. You can also put them under the tree also, and that looks even more adorable. Here are the pieces for Arch Snow Globe. You have the back piece, and then you have this frame piece. And within the frame piece, there's different little landscape pieces and pieces that go on the bottom for the base. You can add the base to layer it up, and then there's also a smaller, thinner piece just to add dimension, or if you want to add a sentiment. It has different hills as well as a tree. I cut it out in color later so you can see. And then it also comes with this little tag that you can adhere at the top, and there's a little hole where you can put some twine through. I want to prepare my images to go inside of this arch snow globe. I thought it would be really cute to pair these two products together. So I've created a mask because I want to put a little bit of a blue kind of shading on top of the branch, and I did it darker than I wanted to. So I fix it a little bit later after I finish my ink blending with some white pigment ink. And I put the pigment ink on an acrylic block because I don't want to contaminate my ink pad. So I'm picking it up from the block and I'm kind of stippling the white over it. And so it's making my ink blending a little bit less harsh. I had not ink blended for a long time, so I was like freaking out, and I have no idea why I tried to wipe off the ink with like a towel, and this is like oxide, so it's gonna oxidize and do crazy things. So it got all over the place and it was crazy, but I knew that part of the tree would be covered with an image, so I wasn't really worried about it. I'm going to use this Arch Snow Globe base piece, so it cuts out a solid back to cut out my image, but I'm using the frame so I can see what I'm going to see through the frame. So I'm kind of playing with it and I'm seeing where I want to cut it, and when I know where I want to cut it, I'm going to leave my die cut there, and then I'm going to put on top my base piece die to cut that image out. So I have one of the landscape pieces here, and I'm just adding a little bit of color with Distress Oxide ink in Broken China. I'm going to be making 3 of these tags, so we're going to assemble the first one. I've cut out that frame piece in a blue cardstock, and then I'm taking that image that I cut out with the base piece and I'm layering it on top. And then next I'll put my little koala image. How cute is that? Oh my goodness. And then I'm just going to also adhere the 2 kind of bottom pieces just to add some dimension to the die cut. So I'll do one in the color of the frame, and then I will do the white piece, and I'm also going to add in my landscape piece that I ink blended with the Broken China Distress ink. Lastly, I'm going to add my sentiment, and this sentiment comes from the stamp set. I'm doing that in the Broken China Distress Oxide ink to match the ink blending. Now we're going to make our second one of these, and it's going to be the same process, except I cut out the frame in pink. And you can see my mess up with the ink there, but again, we're going to use an image to cover that up. I'm also going to ink blend that landscape panel. So I think this is Bubblegum Mama Elephant ink. It was the one that I wanted to closely match that scarf color. And so I'm going to adhere that landscape piece there. It also comes with a secondary landscape piece. I didn't use it because I didn't want to cover my tree. I'm going to adhere my image, and then also the bottom two base pieces just to add a little bit of interest down there with the layering, and then top it off with the white. And then I'm going to select a sentiment and stamp it out using the same brown ink that I used to color in the images. I just keep stamping until I like the way the sentiment looks. I almost do it always 2 or 3 times. So for our third card, I thought I would use the cute little tree die that comes with arched snow globe. I love the shape of it. So the snow globe is going to be white. I'm going to use one of the insert pieces, that blue piece there, as kind of like a background. I'm also adding in the landscape layering pieces. And here I'm going to stamp out my sentiment first because I want to make sure my sentiment is good before I adhere the trees. And I love these trees so much. I cut them in pink. And then now I'm going to, as with the 2 other cards, build up the bottom of the base with the 2 layers. And then I'm going to finish this off with the owl and Tweety bird images. And oh my goodness, I'm so in love with this owl. So, so cute. Also love these little Tweety bird images. So now we have some finishing touches. First, I'm going to add some white gel pen detail to all 3 of the snow globe tags. It's a tag so you can see the back. So for the ones that I use the tree branch background, you can see the Copic marker coloring in the back. So I just cut out another base piece and I'm just putting it back there to cover in the Copic marker coloring so it's a nice clean background. And then I've also cut out 3 of those little tabs, and then I'm going to adhere them to the top of the tag, and I'm going to make sure that that hole is free and clear because I will be putting in some twine so you can, you know, tie it to a tree or a present. So I will be taking some baker's twine and I'm going to be looping it through the tag hole on top to finish off the tag. Also forgot to mention the pigment ink that I used, the white pigment ink, was the Fawn Yeti. So that's it. I'm calling these tags done. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have an awesome day. Stay safe and happy crafting. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.